something new here. So if you can comment just to say, I know you can see me on TikTok. So I'm trying to get around the whole can't use third-party apps in groups thing. So I'm hoping that you can hear me okay, that you can see me okay, and that this is streaming in all the right places. So I am currently live in 2 different places on my laptop. So in my group on a Facebook Live, and then StreamYard for 4 other platforms and TikTok on my phone. So trying to get around the whole Facebook not letting you go live in groups thing. So let me know if you're there and if you can see me in my group on my personal page. And obviously you can see me on TikTok. Hi, TikTok. So this morning, I'm experimenting with going live in all these places. So thanks, Facebook, for making productivity really difficult now. Because the reason we use these tools, so StreamYard and other streaming platforms, is to make life a little bit more productive in business and be able to reach more people at the same time. Because productivity is about that, isn't it? It's about being able to reach your audience in one productive way. So hey ho. So this is experimental this morning. If you're in my group and you're watching, just let me know that this is streaming into the group, please. Anyway, so for those of you that don't know me, I'm Mandy Nicholson, and I am the Creative Genius Consultant. I'm an artist, I'm an author, I'm a creative retreat owner here in Scotland, and I help creative women to launch, grow, and scale their businesses and make more money. That's what I'm here for, to teach you how to make sales, to make money, to grow and thrive in your business. And today I'm going to be talking about self-sabotage, because one of the things that holds creatives back, holds a lot of people back, but I see it more in creative business owners, is self-sabotage. So you are going along nicely, you've had some advice, you've decided that you are going to build your business, and there's this voice in your head that says, you're not good enough. Look at that other person over there, they're better than me. I was told 100 years ago that I would never make money from this. So you kind of sabotage things. And I experience this in conversations with my creative mastermind clients all the time, where they're saying, right, why, Mandy, why can't I do this? Sorry, I forgot to put my brand on. There we go. Let's get that on. There we go. Why can't we do this? Why is this thing on my list of things to do? And now I know I've got to do it. I know that it needs to be done, but I can't find the motivation to do it. It's a job that I don't like, yet it could make a huge difference to me in my business in terms of sales or growth or expansion or networking. Why do we sabotage ourselves so often? And in so many different ways, I suppose. And it is hard. It is hard for creatives. I know that. It's really hard for creatives to talk themselves back into doing things. So that's kind of the topic today. Will you let me know in the comments if it's something that you struggle with? Sorry, I'm just trying to type something as I speak. If it's something that you struggle with, if it's something that, holds you back, has stopped you in what you've been doing. Yeah. How do you feel about self-sabotage? What happens to you? Yeah. So it's like knowing how good you are and how much praise that you've received for your work and how good it could be. You've got this fantastic idea. So you're a creative. You've got this fantastic idea for a book or a painting or crafting something or a course or something that would help other people. But instead, you procrastinate. You push your deadlines back forever. And on a more personal level, you know what's great for you, but you do like Julia Roberts did in Runaway Bride, and run away from whatever it is that you know needs to be done. So does that sound familiar to anybody? Does it sound like something that you do? So if you're struggling with similar situations, particularly when it comes to your creative work, know that you're not alone. You are not alone. I see this so often. And what does self-sabotage cost you in your business in terms of sales and growth? And self-sabotage is any behavior that hinders your development or your business's development in your life and in any other area of your life. Yeah. So there was an article in Psychology Today that dates back about 10 years now, I think, that describes self-sabotage as a misguided attempt to rescue ourselves from our own negative feelings. That's how it was described. So think of it as your psyche, your inner critic, creating a protection because it doesn't know how to deal with the obstacles or problems that are in front of you in a better or healthier way. That's kind of what happens with self-sabotage. Now, if you hear noise, I've got both my cleaners here today because we've had guests in last night. So there'll be hoovering going on in the background and there'll be voices going on in the backgrounds. So let's have a look at some examples of self-sabotaging behaviors. Yeah. So one of the self-sabotaging behaviors is imposter syndrome, thinking of yourself as less than your real value. And I see this so much in creatives, not valuing your work, not valuing your time. You're seeing yourself as not worth as much as the next person. And you feel out of place in the business world because you don't necessarily know or think you know as much as the next person. Yeah. Even though you've worked hard to achieve what you've achieved and you know that you are really good, you know you've worked hard at your business, but you're diminishing your true potential because you're feeling not worthy enough. Does that sound familiar to you? That's one of the things that sits underneath self-sabotage. Secondly is procrastination, or procrastination, as one of my clients calls it, Kelly. It's a big symptom of self-sabotage. And procrastinating doing your work, postponing tasks, like I already said, and feeling stuck in the process of advancing or growing in your business, stuck in it, not knowing where to go next. This can happen because you might feel too overwhelmed, or subconsciously, you're either afraid of success or failure, or both, because we can be afraid of both at the same time. And the third kind of thing that sits under self-sabotage is perfectionism. And we are very guilty of this as creatives. Perfectionism. Things have just got to be perfect. Absolutely perfect. Morning. I see that we are actually live in the group. That's good to have somebody on there saying good morning. Thank you, Caroline. So perfectionism. Again, we go back to feeling like you're not good enough. So you're trying to overcompensate by doing everything right, every little detail, the smallest minutiae of detail in the work that you're doing has to be just spot on. Paying attention isn't inherently a bad thing, but when perfectionism strikes, there'll always seem to be other things that could be done faster, better, and more efficiently. So like Facebook causing me a problem by taking away the ability to use StreamYard in my group, which causes me a productivity problem, but it looks like I have gotten around it and I'm managing to have 3 different spaces open. So up yours, Facebook. That's all I'm going to say. So why do people self-sabotage? Why do we do it? Yeah. Self-sabotage. Why do I self-sabotage? What's wrong with me? I can hear some people saying this now. So there's a number of reasons that could cause you to constantly get in your own way, really. That's what self-sabotage is. You're constantly getting in your own way. So one of the reasons can be stress. So when you feel like you're in a stressful situation, I must make money in my business, you're overwhelmed and stressed, you're likely to develop, so people are looking at you, you feel overwhelmed, you're likely to develop coping mechanisms that could potentially be your self-sabotage. So think about some of the coping mechanisms, the negative ones that people could use to build safety when they feel stressed. So there's things like emotional eating, guilty, daydreaming, smoking, overuse of social media, scrolling for hours on end, particularly TikTok. That can be a procrastination tool that stands in the way of you actually getting to what you want or need. Yeah. They're subconscious and they're automatic, and they raise their ugly heads when you do feel stressed or overwhelmed. Being aware of these things is where you're going to be able to move forward and move past self-sabotage. The second thing that can be linked to self-sabotage and why you do it is trauma. And trauma is a huge thing, unprocessed trauma. So maybe, think about things that have traumatized you. In business, that can just be having been at a networking meeting and feeling like everybody else knew what they were doing and you didn't, and feeling stupid. That can be traumatic. So unprocessed trauma will drive self-sabotaging behaviors in your business, an unconscious attempt to protect the traumatized parts of you. Does that make sense? So for one example, here's an example. If someone lost all the money they had, and that's happened to me, and I know it's happened to a lot of people, and you've lost all your money down to one bad decision, due to one bad business decision. Yeah. That trauma can sit with you, with your money mindset and protecting yourself, and fear of taking risks, and fear of growing your business, and fear of increasing your prices. That's where self-sabotage can come in. It can be linked to past trauma. So, if that's happened to you or anybody it can sit with you unknowingly in your subconscious. So trauma comes in many different ways. Doesn't have to have been something that we typically associate with that word trauma. I'm sorry if I'm not making eye contact. I've got 3 places to be talking to this morning. So that's the second thing that's often linked with why we self-sabotage. And the third one is limiting beliefs. Yeah. The way that we think of the world with our minds. So and the model of how we see the outside reality with our eyes, based on things that have happened to us, the beliefs that have been embedded in us. So it could be somebody has said to you when you were young and growing up that, you're creative, it's a nice hobby, but you'll never make any money from it. That can end up as a limiting belief. Yeah. I'm not enough to do this or that. I can't make money out of being a creative. I can't make that amount of money. So every time you see somebody else doing that, it can trigger the limiting belief within you, and it underpins, you're looking at somebody else, you're comparing yourself, because that's part of self-sabotage, and that underpins your belief that you can't make money out of your talent and you can't make that much money. So there's lots of reasons that you would self-sabotage. So self-sabotaging yourself is going to undermine your success. Without a doubt, it's going to undermine your success. And that's a shame, because actually you're as able as the next person to become successful. The unhealthy habits that you have can become really chronic, therefore putting your health or mental health at risk. You can lose motivation and feel depleted of energy. So you feel fatigued, you feel drained. This is part of, this. These are some of the symptoms that I see often. Your relationships may suffer. You could be blaming other people, or blaming yourself and taking it out on other people. You can experience high levels of anxiety, which again come from all of these deep-rooted areas of self-sabotage. You stop trusting yourself, and that's a shame, because when you lose the trust in yourself, there's only you that's driving your life and your business forward. At any time in your life, you are the responsible person in your life. And if the trust isn't there for your decisions, because you're basing everything on a bad decision from the past, then how will you ever grow and build your business or your life in the way that you want it? And the more that you do these things, the more you're going to struggle with your self-esteem, the less you're going to think of yourself. So it is really important to focus on how you can healing these areas. So how do you heal your limiting beliefs? Let's start there, shall we? Limiting beliefs, as I said, they're the lens in which you view the world, how you see it based on things that you have experienced and seen when you've been growing up. So imagine yourself as a child who sees their parents fighting all the time. Therefore, you believe that relationships are hard. Love is hard. Love can make you suffer. I'm not capable of being in a healthy relationship. That's the type of thing that you can end up going into your adult life believing. Those are the limiting beliefs. So how do you heal that? It's the same with money. If your parents or grandparents have struggled with money and you've experienced poverty, it can really give you a difficult money mindset belief. Yeah. You need to be excited and take some risks. Yeah. The human mind loves the familiar. We love the familiar. We stick with it whenever possible because it makes us feel safe. Yeah. And we always want to go back to the comfort of familiarity. Yeah. It's what we perceive as safe. So your mind has its own same old, keeping you safe. But you don't need to be safe. You need to be excited and you need to take risks. It's the only way that you're going to release yourself. So challenge your limiting beliefs. That's how you deal with it. You challenge your limiting beliefs. Write down the beliefs that you have about money, abundance, wealth, finances, success, relationships. Write down the beliefs that you have. Think about it hard and think about the things that you have learned growing up, that you've observed, that you've seen, that you might still believe to this day. And find your reasons for each and every one of them. Look for the I can't haves. I can't have money because. I can't have an abundant mindset because. I can't find love, the love of my life because. I can't have a fit and healthy body because. What are the limiting beliefs that you have that you just say that are there and fixed? Once you identify those limiting beliefs and have written them down, ask yourself, why do I believe this? Who taught me this belief? And what did they know? What was their background? What made them qualified to be about viewing life in this way? So overcoming limiting beliefs to help you with self-sabotage is about identifying the limiting beliefs and where they came from. The second thing you can do to help you with self-sabotage is to embrace self-acceptance and self-love. You are who you are. You look how you look. You believe, You love how you love. You speak how you speak. I hear lots of ladies saying, I can't go live because I hate the sound of my voice. I hate the way I look. You know, I'm really scared about going live. People are going to judge me. People are going to say, it doesn't matter. When you can get to a place of self-acceptance and self-love, that brings with it huge change in terms of how you will view your life and your business. You will start to take risks. So I always ask my clients to do a mirror exercise, to stand in front of the mirror and have a conversation with yourself and tell yourself that you love yourself. I love you. I think you are amazing. Look at your gorgeous hair. Look at, you know, you're really intelligent and knowledgeable. It's a really difficult thing to do. But if you're going to work on self-acceptance and self-love, you've got to look yourself in the eye. And the only way you can do that is in a mirror or on a live like this. Have a look, do some practice lives. Do them in a private group where no one else can see you but you. But have a conversation with yourself and identify all the things you're really great at. Yeah, the things that are great, you will love things about yourself, even if you don't think you do. And you can find those things. This is how you break toxic patterns. And toxic patterns and habits and limiting beliefs are what cause the self-sabotage. Okay. However, accepting who you are doesn't mean that you need to stay in the bad habits. Yeah. No sitting on the couch all day, eating Doritos and watching Netflix. Instead, accepting who you are enough, that you are enough just as you are, but give yourself some ambition and motivation to do something different than the bad habits that you find comfort in. Now, I'm not saying you all sit on the couch eating Doritos and watching Netflix, but that is one of those habits, or scrolling TikTok or scrolling social media. Those are some of the things we just feel familiar in. And to come out of self-sabotage, you've got to be able to break those habits. Okay, I'm going to give you another tip here, and this is a big one. Overcome the fear of success. Yeah? One of the biggest reasons for self-sabotage is the fear of success. Why? Because at your very core, at your soul, your mind is wired to fear change. You are wired to fear change. We all are. It's something that is a survival instinct that's been there since the cavemen. Yeah, you're naturally hardwired to survive. Okay. And the way the human brain knows to keep safe is by always sticking to what is familiar. So by default, we fear change. So knowing that and learning to deal with that is one of the best things that you can do to help deal with self-sabotage. So to overcome the fear of change, you have to be absolutely clear that you're able to direct and influence and control the direction of your life and your business, to be in charge. So practice accepting small changes in your life. Yeah. Practice taking small risks, calculated risks. And some of them will succeed and some of them will fail. And it's okay, which either one, it doesn't matter. Either one is good. Yeah. It's good to fail because it teaches you a lesson. Once you've fully felt with all of your senses what the life you want and the change that you desire can bring to you, your self-sabotaging habits may just slowly fade away. The next thing you can do is focus on the healing power of connection. So I'm speaking to 3 different cameras here. The healing power of connection. Yeah. Have you ever thought people often connect to unhealthy behaviors and addictions because they feel disconnected from other people? Have you ever thought about the fact that that has such Amanda's saying in my group there, self-sabotage is still my biggest issue. Yeah. And it comes from all of these different places. So because we feel that there's not someone to connect to that understands us or that can motivate us, then you'll find something. And that something can be all of those bad habits. It can be alcohol, it can be drugs, it can be multiple romantic partners, it can be social media, it can be video games, or it can even be shopping, instant gratification things. And these things give us that connection to something. So a lot of people that are addicted to shopping aren't addicted to shopping. They're addicted to the small high they get from connecting to somewhere where they're buying something they desire or want. And for a moment, they feel connected. And most people that are addicted to shopping have a house full of things that they never use. And these are one of the self-sabotaging behaviors, one of the many. So focus on connecting to people. Yeah. When you're self-sabotaging, connect to people who get you. Find your people. So important. It's one of the biggest areas that you can pull yourself out of self-sabotage. There are people out there for everyone. Go to a networking meeting, join a program, do something that takes you outside of all those habits that are causing you to self-sabotage. And this is the final one. And this is probably quite hard for a lot of people when I say this, because some of these things are not going to be as easy. So eliminate destructive relationship patterns. So when it comes to self-sabotage, relationships with people can be one of the biggest things. So if you're in a relationship, and this is why this is so hard, with a negative partner who doesn't think anything is possible, it's twice as hard, if not 10 times harder, for you to see the change and believe that the change is possible when someone is there like a parrot in your ear telling you that it's not possible. Now, that can be parents. It can be your romantic partner. It can be cousins, sisters, siblings, friends. So I always say to my clients, you know, who do you need to remove from your life that's caused it, that's holding you back and becoming a part of your self-sabotage? And I know this isn't easy for people. If it's family, it's really, really difficult because we are so forgiving of our families. We love these people sometimes, even though they are impacting on our own behaviors. So think about all of those things that I've said to you today. Get out of your own way. That's what I want you to do today. Get out of your own way. But what I am going to say is, if you need let's recap, shall we? You know, I gave you some examples of sabotaging behaviors. So things like stress can impact, trauma can impact, limiting beliefs can impact. Yeah, I've talked about the consequences and 5 tips for self-sabotaging, managing self-sabotage, healing your limiting beliefs, embracing self-acceptance and self-love, overcoming the fear of success, biggie, focusing on the healing power of connection, yeah, and taking the people out of your life where possible, or setting boundaries with those people that are having a negative impact on your mindset so that you can get out of your own way. And in terms of that, you know, a lot of us need help. A lot of us need help when it comes to this. This is why I do what I do. This is why I am the creative genius consultant. This is why I work with people all the time. And I've got a brand new offer that opens up today. I've opened up 3 sets of VIP days through May and June. And a VIP day is coming here to the Art Bank and working intensively with me in a really small group of 3 people. You stop overnight, so you arrive in the afternoon, you get your evening meal, you get your breakfast, but you also get 7 to 8 hours of group and one-to-one coaching with me, and you will leave with a plan. an absolute plan and self-belief, and you will have networked with other people, even though it's a small group, and start to expand that connection, and you will know exactly where you're going. I absolutely guarantee that. So these are opening up. There's a link in the description. Not on TikTok. There's no link on TikTok. But if you go to my website, mandynicholson.co.uk, and where it says work with me right at the top, there's a link there to book VIP days. If you want to come here for that, there's 3 in May and June. That's it. And so there's only actually a total of 9 places. Yeah, 3 VIP days, 3 people on each. And you will actually, I've made them weekdays. So actually during working time, if you want to come, click the link. You can book straight away, pay straight away, or you can book on a call with me to discuss it with me and think about, what is it that I do need in my business to help me move forward. I hope that you do not self-sabotage for the rest of the week now, that you really think about this. Sit down with a journal, watch this live back again, sit down with a journal and think about those tips that I've given you on helping to heal yourself and move forward through your self-sabotaging habits, because you were destined and born to be a success. Thank you for watching on all these 3 different places, and I think I've done it. So a thumbs up for actually overcoming the problem that Facebook caused me. So I'm now going to close 3 lives. This is the difficult bit now, where I've got to close 3 lives in 3 different places and say goodbye. And I will see you same time, same place, in the same format next Tuesday. Have a great week. Ending on here.